The top 16, Gocha in the lead position. Louis Gono, as you can see, the conditions have changed very dramatically. It was dry before, and now we have a full wet, currently raining condition here at Odaiba. This is really going to change the conditions for the battles coming up.
Well, we also need to say that both drivers had possible to check the grip level on the track, so they are not completely blind going for that first battle.
It has also been raining consistently, so the track is quite wet right now. And we'll see, it will be interesting to see how each racer is able to deal with this.
Yeah, drifting in the wet is a completely different thing to drifting in the dry, especially when you have a concrete wall on the outside of the course like you do here at the FIA IDC. So let's just replay Gocha. Looking pretty good all the way around.
And also, what we can see here is completely different line by both cars. That's why the second car was able to close that much here, where Gocha is like taking big angle and wider line, and he was taking like shallower angle and way more inside line. So that's why he was coming so close at that point.
Yeah, Louis Gono taking, as you said, a very different line, as you can see there, right up the inside. He's doing this in order to try and catch up with Gocha, but that is not something that will be rewarded by the judges. They really want to see drifting more like the lead car. Okay, we're going to change.
And here's the next one.
We're going to change positions. This time, Louis Gono will be leading. Gocha will be following.
Also, what is needed to be mentioned is that white line, which is on the start, cannot be crossed by any of the car. If it happens, it's incomplete.
So there you go. The cars need to stay within the white lines for the entire course. A big ask in these very wet conditions. The transition back, Gocha right there with Louis Gono the whole way around. Very slick, wet conditions. It's been raining consistently for the past hour or so. Just gently raining, enough to wet down the surface, not enough to make it a full wet condition.
Like Gocha had like really hard work to do, because to be following that slow driving is very, very hard. So I think that also judges will take that for him, because he was like doing actually a very good job there.
Now, what's interesting is the rankings of these two drivers in the solo runs, where Georgi Gocha was, of course, first place, and Louis barely made it in 16th place. So basically it was first place versus last place we just saw.
Yeah, that's the way it works in these top 16 tournaments. You have first versus 16th, second versus 15th, etc. It goes through down to the middle. So it's a system that's been used for drifting competitions for quite a while now. It seems to work fairly well. Of course, what you want with drifting is in an ideal world, much like in racing, you want qualifying to reflect the actual results.
And all three judges have gone in favor of Georgi.
So the first Russian driver, he is a very strong driver, very aggressive. His car been set up to
points. So the gap is not the main thing what you need to see, but or look, you need to look more if the leader is fulfilling the qualification standards of this track, and if the chaser is completely mimicking it.
So as our next two Russian drivers head out onto the track, Arkadi's GTR.
Actually, unfortunately, what we will not be able to see is more than one Russian.
That car seems very well suited to this particular layout. They are lined up on the track, so one of these will go through to the best 8.
It's funny how this Bosket S14 looks huge against the skyline.
It does.
Normally it's opposite.
You're right. Normally an S14 next to an R34 would look tiny, but now it actually looks about the same size.
Only one Russian is going to make it to the semifinals and hopefully the finals. Okay, and our next tournament is Russia versus Russia. Ilya Fedorov versus Arkasha.
Let's send them down the track in these wet conditions. Both of them did have a practice lap. We've given all these guys one lap to test the track surface. Here we go, up through the gears. Ilya in the lead position, throws it in. Okay, a bit shallow in angle.
He chose like very inside
Like
line. This is
blue.
very dangerous. You know, if you take that line, you need to be very careful with the speed.
Yeah, Arkady not being cautious at all. He's throwing it as hard as he can up against the door of Ilya, taking the inside line, but keeping the same angle. That's a very dangerous place to be in these conditions. If Ilya makes some sort of mistake, it can be difficult for Arkady to recover. But what that just proves is Arkady is 100% confident in himself and the car, or it could just be that he has massive amounts of guts and just wants to do it.
What we saw afterwards was just amazing. The very close battle made by Arkasha was really good. Also, he left enough space for the leader to make the transitions. The synchronization of transitions was also very good. So, hey, I like that battle.
They were practically stuck together.
Yeah, it's that's what you want. That's really what you want to see,
Yeah,
especially in these conditions. The chase car, they're not giving themselves much room for error. If the lead car does something odd, they've got really no space to play with. The 34 Skyline right there with him the entire way around, showing a large degree of confidence in his own abilities. Also, could be the fact that he trusts Ilya's driving. That can be another thing. These guys have probably, I'm guessing these guys have driven together before.
Of course,
many times.
This is the thing, like, what also drivers did not like here is that they didn't have much time to practice together the battles.
Right.
So those guys are used to drive together, so they should be very close every time.
And now we're going to go into round 2.
So second battle between these two, Russia versus Russia. Ilya Fedorov versus Arkady Tsarigradzev. This time Arkady will be in the lead position. He does have a faster car. Look at that long extension, long slide all the way down the wall, all the way out to the wall. Ilya having to take look at the difference in angle. Ilya, shallow angle to keep up with Arkady. But getting in there, very aggressive Ilya. It is really obvious that these guys have driven together before. They both seem to trust each other, but at the same time being very aggressive with each other. Oh, the road conditions are very tricky here today at Odaiba. And then we go over the finish line.
Also, what is needed to be mentioned, judges cannot choose one more time actually in top 16 here. So they will need to decide. What we saw here was another very close battle. Like you said, they completely trust each other, so they will go that much close because they believe that nobody of those two will do any like play games, like breaking in the places where you should not, so they were able to go that close. What I can see from the position of the line or positioning of the cars, Arkasha was slightly better on the line, but we will see for the judges how they will see it.
Yeah. There were a couple of points where Ilya wasn't driving quite as well as Arkasha was in the lead position. So we can see there from the in-car interview, he knows how to behave in front of a camera. Doesn't he have his own YouTube channel as well? I believe he has a fairly popular YouTube channel in Russia.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
He is having a lot of fun, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, that's what drifting is about. Even if you don't end up winning, it can be a lot of fun.
Just take your car, be best in your country, and come to IDC.
Simple as that.
Hey, look, that's what I did. Well, I think one thing between these two is, like we said before, they have fought each other before, and there is an amount of mutual respect there, which allows them to go really hard. And that's the thing that these drivers will remember, is not the fact that they won or lost at the end of the day. It's the battles they had, really hard-fought battles. That's what these guys want. They don't want to. I'm not going to say all of them because there's various kinds of drivers, but none of these guys want to win.
Not old school. This
now let's see.
is like a very powerful machine.
And we got a 3-0 decision for Arkasha. Arkasha moves on to the best 8, and Ilya is out.
So Ilya knocked out. So what does that mean? Who will Arkasha go up against in the best 8?
He will go up against...
And we run the FIA event.
But Marko Zagouril, his Czech fans are sure happy they came to see him today.
Yeah, how many people are in the Czech cheer squad over there?
Oh, here, not that much. I think it's like 20 people here, but all Czech Republic is living drifting. Just now, they are just streaming. They're watching the stream. And
Okay, and we're now going to move on to the third match. Hideyuki Fujino of Japan versus Mohamed Zaihan Hamdan of Malaysia. And here we go.
It's the start of the battle. We have Fujino in the lead position and Hamdan in the chase. Great speed from Hamdan. Very early entry. Shallow line from Hamdan. He really needs to catch up in this tandem. Not a bad run so far for Hamdan. Yeah, so he dives in there. He needs to make up this space that he lost at the beginning of the run. Fujino just taking it easy in the lead position, taking a fairly middle line.
Oh,
and a spin from Fujino.
And a spin. Oh.
An unforced spin from the lead car, Fujino.
now it's very needed to see the replay. If there was like also a big mistake from the chaser, which can also make incomplete, or there would be like huge advantage for him in next run.
Yeah, it can potentially be a double disqualification if both of the drivers make a huge mistake, but we'll have to see. It doesn't really look like that Hamdan made any huge mistakes. Of course, wobbling around here, just trying to position his car, trying to catch up to Fujino, scrabbling around there. See a bit of a straighten there. I wouldn't say that was a full straighten though. He did straighten the front wheels a bit, but the car was still sliding sideways. And watch this, the transition back here, watch the lead car.
And also we are getting to one interesting thing what can happen, and that's,
Right
I
over
said
here.
that there is no possibility of one more time in top 16. But what happens that if there will be that much incompletes, there is no scoring. In that case, it's based on the qualification. But hopefully we will not see example like that.
So lined up again on the start line. Going to run these guys again, and especially having a guy like this, former D1 Grand Prix champion, right behind you.
And here's the second run. Let's see how this one goes.
Of course, the chase car, Fujino, very well known for being a great chase driver. But that's all he can do right now after that spin.
Now he needs to really push hard to push the leader to make a big mistake.
Another big straight in there from Hamdan. He's going to go out and hit the wall. No, he recovers from it. Fujino right there with him. Could that have been what Fujino was looking for? Hamdan straightening up. Now, whether the judges think that was a straighten worthy of a zero, we're going to have to find out when the results happen. But look at this, Fujino right there with him. He's not giving it. And another spin from Fujino in the same place.
Oh, boy.
So there are only two possibilities how it can be at this moment. If there are only incomplete, then it's based on the qualification.
Right.
Or there is decision based on the drive of one of those drivers.
So a huge straighten there. That could potentially be a zero to Hamdan in the lead. It wasn't just a little understeer. It was a full-on straighten.
However, Alexei, you are right. I mean, Fujino did spin out at the exact same location in both runs.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. It's an unusual thing. We haven't really seen that many people spin at that particular spot. But the track conditions are quite different to how it's been for the past couple of days here. The past 3 days here at Odaiba. Nobody has had practice in the wet before.
Yes.
So right there.
And they have to practically improvise.
Actually, Fujino's tires are great on dry. But on the wet, it doesn't look that they're so...
Oh, and here we go,
We have
finally.
results. Left for Fujino, right for Hamdan in the Altezza. Left for the blue 180SX.
But it is not moving. Oh, okay,
This is
okay.
what I said, like,
There we go.
there was like too many incompletes from both drivers, it will go like one more time, but the one more time is not possible to do because this is like needed to be explained.
Here we
There
go.
we go.
Yeah.
So that was
And there you have it.
There you have it. So that was the actual judged result. 2 judges in favor of Fujino, 1 in favor of Hamdan. Afternoon, we'll be running this competition as it starts to become dusk, which always makes for exciting driving to watch. So they start running their headlights. Hopefully we'll see a bit of smoke later on today as well.
Okay, and here we go. Naoto Suenaga of Japan versus Sak Sergey of Belarus.
So Sergei in the left lane in the Toyota 86 Suenaga, the right lane in the orange S15 Silvia. Here we go, first run, Suenaga. Team Orange's motto is high-level tandem drift.
Suenaga is fast.
Suenaga is very fast in the lead position. Sergei not managing to close the distance. Let's see if he can do it here. He's having to straighten up a look. He's straightening up a lot to try and close that gap. That's not what you want to see.
He was just trying too much to close that gap, and I think that will cost him like a lot of points.
So he manages to get a bit closer, but at the expense of angle. And drifting is all about angle. But Suenaga, the angle and the speed. Let's watch the replay.
Like I said, he's like on fire.
He's doing well today. This is the last round of the year for a lot of these people. There you go, nice line to the left side of the track, taking the wide line, the unsafe line. It's exciting to watch, and it's faster.
And just like David said, he was going fast, Suenaga.
Yeah, just set up and prepare the car that it will have grip in such conditions. It's like magic. Like, you never know if it will exactly work. You know how it should be done, but the reality can be different. Like, in those, especially here at Odaiba, the track is like changing surfaces.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's very bumpy. Sometimes you have different tarmacs.
We just saw a little wobble there from Suenaga as well, in the exact same place where Fujino spun. So it might be that just that part of the track has a bit of a... So Suenaga will go into the chase position behind Sergei.
And he needs to be careful because he knows he's faster. So he needs to be careful. He just cannot over-push that.
Neck and neck.
That's what we want to see. Door-to-door driving here at Odaiba, FIA. Nice, consistent, clean driving from both these drivers so far, but the fact that Suenaga is so close shows that he's really dominating this battle. Now, here's this last part of the course, the treacherous last part.
Oh!
Throwing it a bit too hard.
There is something about that part.
There's something about that part of the course that's causing these guys to spin, half spin out.
You know, this is the thing. Like here, the surface is changing, and some surfaces have better drainage than the others. So
That's
it can happen. There is like laying down water. Now you can see there is a line, and on that line you can have
that
water,
angle,
change of grip, and it can be very tricky to go through there.
It's a nice tandem driving here. Of course, the wet conditions make it very difficult to go smoothly.
Still, Suenaga did a great job of being largely neck and neck with Sergei.
Yeah, he didn't place it safe. You know, a lot of drivers will just make it safe.
He was not playing it
I have
safe.
advantage, so I will just play it safe. Take that home. No, he just risked it, and
right
it looks
here.
it's worth it.
Yeah, right there at that same spot. You know, absolutely worth it. It's worth it if you can do that in front of the judges. They can see that. They know what you're doing. They know that you're being confident. They know that you're giving it 100%. You're not holding back. And over the finish line for Suenaga and Sergei.
Well, you know, I got to be honest with you. I think we're going to be looking at Russia versus Suenaga. And now Suenaga advances to the top 8, and we're going to have Gocha versus Arcasha, Russia versus Russia, and Fujino versus Suenaga, Japan versus Japan, and
You know?
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Next two drivers.
Okay, and now we're going to move on to the next match of the battle runs. We have got Marco Zagouril from the Czech Republic and Chanapam Kurtpiam from Thailand. Let's see who's going to take this one home.
BMW M2 versus Toyota Altezza. Fairly similar cars in spirit, I guess.
Now, of course, Kurtpiam in his first solo run spun out and scored a 0.
Right. So here we go. Next run now. Zagouril, Kurtpiam. Zagouril in the lead position. Very aggressive run from Zagouril all the way out to the wall. This is looking
beautiful.
really good. Running along the wall.
And it looks like we lost the camera feed for a bit. Here we go. It's back.
It's back in the right spot.
Zagouril, huge angle in these wet conditions. Kurtpiam right there with him.
Need to wait for that slippery spot.
And here's the...
Whoa,
Okay.
Looks very
They
good.
slowed down a bit, but
That supercharged V8 in Zagourill's car.
Turbocharged.
Turbocharged. One or two?
One.
One. Big, huge turbo making a lot of noise in this BMW.
And you
Look
can
at this.
You can see outputs from the waste gates through the bonnet. Like, that's cool.
Oh, right, yeah. So the wastegate exhaust is sticking out of the bonnet, making some nice flames coming out of there.
Oh, that was a head.
Yep.
Was that a bit of contact there? Oh, okay.
There was a bit of contact there.
We didn't see that because the camera cut out for a second. Kurt Piam being very aggressive in this Achilles Lexus.
Actually, Achilles tires are very great on the water.
Yes, they've been known for being very good in the wet.
And Federals are not that good on water.
Not so good? No, it seems to be, but look, it looks like
This part
Zagouril.
right over here.
Zagourill's doing a really good job putting the power down, some flames spitting out of the rear of the car, spitting out of the bike. You can see right there.
Like a lot of flames. That's nice. Everybody wants to see that.
That is great first battle between these two, unfortunately. We did have a bit of a
Yeah.
cut there, but
I mean-
looking forward to seeing the next one.
Kurt Piam definitely held his own against Zagouril. We'll see how this one goes.
Certainly did. Okay, next battle now. This time, Kurt Piam in the lead position. Zagouril chasing. Very early entry, fast entry from
That was very aggressive.
Kurt Piam. Very aggressive.
Ooh.
He's sort of leaving Zagouril behind slightly. Zagouril really needs to try and catch up with him in this corner. Use the grip. We know he has it. Kurt Piam running quite wide. Here comes a transition. Another chance for Zagouril to catch up.
And here it is.
Slippery
Running a little bit
place,
wide there.
Okay.
Wheel off.
And over the finish line, Kurt Piam versus Zagouril.
Nice
That's actually
smooth
very
run by
good
both drivers.
Run from the leader. He got a grip and he's using it fully.
Yeah, both these cars seem to have a lot of grip.
I think Marco was like surprised by that run. Like he didn't expect that he will be that fast.
Zagouril being left a fair way behind there by the
Yeah, he closed it in.
but
to
he
get
did.
close.
No, he did twice. He managed to close it in on that hairpin and also here as well, managing to reel in the lead car just a little bit.
Here is like okay because there's inside clip, so if he closes it there,
Yeah.
it's okay. But here he's also still like inside, but he's not putting the wheel off like the leader.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what the result is.
And unfortunately, the rain is starting again.
Yes, it is indeed.
it?
The rain is coming down again.
It is too.
Yeah, and it looks like the clouds are, have taken over the sky again.
So our prayers for smoke in the finals were not
I
listened.
really do want to see. I really wanted to see smoke. We saw some amazing clouds of smoke being laid down here today. Of course, not a judged part of the competition here, but it sure does look good.
Oh, and there he is, his
Yeah,
fan club.
Chezh.
Zagouril. He has got a lot of support with him today.
$250
Oh, we got one
Each.
for Kurt.
Wow.
each spot.
Oh, and it looks
And that's
like Kurt
unfortunate.
Piam has won this one and moves on to the top 10. The Czech Republic is out. We're very sorry, Czech Republic.
David, you okay?
I'm sad.
I'm sad. You're sad. But that was a great run from Kurt. Shuffle in your seat and think about what you're going to do next. You have about 20 seconds to win this battle.
And here we go. Charles Ing versus Deshapan Tying Charon, otherwise known as Pond.
Right, second battle, first battle now between these two. Charles Ing, lead position. Pon in the chase. Nice early entry from both these guys. Very close there from the chase car, Pon, but a bit of a straight in there. See, this is what we don't want to see. We want to see the guys go parallel to each other. If the chase car has to straighten up or have less angle to keep up with the lead car, the advantage will be given to the lead car. But Charles Ing switches back. Pon a long way behind, very slow in his transition. And Charles Ing pulls away in the lead position. This is a great run from Charles. He's had an entire year of D1 Grand Prix competition to get this car settled.
I think that amount of seat time helped him a lot. Like he went way better. If you compare his running from the previous year and this year, he like rise one level up. And
Absolutely.
it's nicely visible on that driving. He's right in the line battle when the front slides of the GT86. So
Right.
you need to still keep it slightly on throttle.
Yeah.
On throttle. If you go off throttle, it's very hard to go well.
Speaking of throttle, here go these two for the second round.
So next run now, this time Pon in the lead position. Here we go, handbrake entry sliding down the wall. Oh, Pon about to cut on the inside. Like you were just saying, David, the front end grip of these short wheelbase Toyota 86s can be difficult to control. Very maneuverable, but also very twitchy. Charles, right there with him the entire time. Watch the transition here. Charles very close to taking out one of the cones. Pon running very wide. Charles with him there all the way. Shallowing up slightly, Charles Ing, but still right there with him. That was a dominant run there from Charles Ing.
Yeah, that was like our slippery spot. Like it's like magical spot. Like every time drivers had the problems with that,
It's right there.
we saw that Charles had the problem with it, but he managed to save it. So, anyways, we still need to wait for the results from the judges. But I liked more driving of Charles.
Yeah, I got to say that Charles overall just looked a bit more confident, and that's saying something since Pon has also had a lot of experience in these cars. Both of these guys running in D1 Grand Prix, the Japanese series, for an entire season. Both of them putting a lot of work into the setup of their cars. So both of these cars are currently about as good as they're going to get.
But also, with it being twilight now, you can see just how wet the ground is right now.
Yeah, it's a high drainage car park. We have the
And
results.
here we go. And all three judges have ruled in favor of Charles Ing, who advances to the top 8, and we now have Hong Kong on the list.
So I said it right. Maybe I can judge also.
You can. Maybe you can.
Well, how would you judge us?
Well, he's also a judge, I get.
And here we go. Yves Meyer from Switzerland versus Richard Kahn from Mozambique.
Okay, so here we go. First battle between these two, Switzerland versus Mozambique. Yves Meyer in the BMW in the lead position, Richard in the S14 Silvia. Whoa, it's a bit of an understeery entry there from Yves Meyer. Richard right there with him. Richard needs to correct his line a bit to catch back up to Yves. Both of them making mistakes. It's fairly even so far. Neither one of them showing a dominant display of drifting. But Yves pulling ahead there around the hairpin, running wide. Once again, both of them throwing it a little bit wide on that outside position of the course. Something about there is just still a little bit slippery. And over the finish line. So nothing really too dominant from either one of these drivers.
Actually, it was like messy from both drivers.
From both.
Like,
Yeah.
they were fighting with those conditions. a
By
lot.
the way, so it turns out Mozambique has a rainy season from November till March.
And
Classic south of the equator weather.
625 inches of rainfall per year.
It's not that much, is it?
Much or not?
I don't know. Let's find out.
It does apparently get quite humid around this time of the year there.
So also the question is how much it will fall in one moment. If
Definitely.
everything falls in one day, then you just don't go drifting in that day. You will wait when it dry again.
Paris has an average of 25 inches per year.
This is half.
So Mozambique is 25 inches as well. So it gets the same amount of rain as Paris in France. There you go. So I guess they do get rain.
Yep.
Well, so maybe he knows how to drift in what?
Well, I guess you think that being a drift driver, you'd want to get out and practice in all kinds of conditions, wet and dry. So, I mean, I know that there's been times where I've looked at the weather report, and it's the next day is raining, so I make sure I go to the track, go to FIA circuit, and get
It's
some practice
cheaper.
in the wet. It's cheaper. Yeah, you just spend money on petrol and hopefully just petrol, not on body panels and radiators and from crashing.
Hopefully not on stuff that you had to pay for because you crashed because it was wet.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That has happened before to many people.
And here we go, run number 2.
Okay, second battle now. This time, Richard Kahn will be in the lead position. Yves Meyer. It seems fairly even so far. Let's see if one of them can show some sort of dominance.
Whoa, Whoa,
Well, a bit of a very messy entry for Richard Kahn. Yves Meyer, not a big entry, but understandable considering the lead car was all over the place. So once again, fairly even so far, but Yves, a much cleaner entry. Switching back. Oh, a big understeer from Yves Meyer. And off the track from Richard Kahn as well. So a fairly messy run from both of these guys.
You know, sometimes I'm quite not happy that I'm not at the judging stand, but after this battle, I'm quite happy that I'm not there. This is like really tough call. Like,
Yeah, this is the kind of competition result that makes the judges sit there and go, well, who made the least amount of mistakes? It's not a good way to decide a competition, but unfortunately that's how it is sometimes, especially in conditions like this. So on the entry, Richard made a huge understeer mistake, but if we look in the chase, we saw that Yves also made a fairly big mistake right about there. See, big understeer, that's a loss of drift.
and that was like 2 wheels off also from the leader. Like, so many mistakes, so it's very hard just to say, okay, that one.
Yeah, a lot of mistakes for both these guys. Our judges, our three judges, have to.
Problem.
Here we go. One for Yves, two for Yves.
And the judges have voted unanimously for Yves Meyer, and Switzerland advances to the top 8.
So they did both make a few mistakes throughout the entire course, but you got to remember the best part of drifting is the entry.
It's like this.
I see. Okay.
Okay, and here we go.
mainly
Masato
it's
Kawabata
maturity.
versus Feng Zhenqi. The final match of the top 16.
So R35 Nissan GTR versus S15 Nissan Silvia. Kawabata, a former champion of D1 Grand Prix. Feng Zhenqi, wow, great chase run from Feng Zhenqi. A little bit of an understeer though, but look at this, getting up on the door of Kawabata. A huge gap in horsepower between these two. Look at this driving from Feng Zhenqi and throwing it a bit too hard and losing the drift. He was doing so well in a spin in the opposite direction. Feng Zhenqi getting frustrated there, spinning once more. He was doing so well in the chase. I don't think I've seen anyone in FIA drift like that with Kawabata before.
What I can see from here, like, Kawabata like slightly played with him. Like,
You think
okay,
so?
yeah, because he initiated super early.
Right.
He went inside, still sliding without any kind of throttle. Then he pulls it like a lot. Then the chaser is trying to close it in, and then comes the mistake.
Right.
So it was like playing like cat with the mice.
So you're saying that Kawabata sort of, I'm not saying forced an error, but gave Feng Zhenqi an opportunity to make his own mistake.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
There you go.
Sign of a master.
He's like teacher of drifting. He knows like so much in drifting. So he pulled it, and the chaser just jumped on it.
Of course, strategy is part of drifting. We're not talking about dirty driving, brake checking, anything like that. But he's talking exactly what David's just talking about. Knowing your opponent. Of course, all of these guys, especially the top tier guys, have spotters with cameras who will give them information on every single driver out there. Okay, second run now. This time Feng Zhenqi, big spins from him. This time Kawabata in the chase position. All Feng can do is just drive his heart out. The best run he can possibly do. But he has the monster GTR breathing down his neck. Even if he could just complete this run with no problem, it would be a great feat. Here comes the transition back. Kawabata right there with him the entire time. Nice tandem battle, nice tandem chase. And finishing off the run, no sweat for Kawabata.
That was one mistake from
peasy.
Kawabata, what I saw just before the finish, and that was crossing the line.
I did see
the
that.
GDR is a huge car. So we will see how the judges will judge that.
Are there
it is-
different rules for the chase car and the lead car like there are in D1 Grand Prix regarding going over the line?
Yeah, it have to be like this, because as a chase car, there are situations where you just don't see there is a line, and you're just following the leader. And if you're close enough, and if the line is similar enough, then you can cross the line.
Okay.
Wow, well, that second run was Kawabata was just right on him, did not give him an inch to get by.
Yeah, he just kept him at arm's length.
Here.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
It was sacrificing place on the circuit to make the synchronization of the battle right. Like
Yeah,
of the
you could see
transition.
that the two cars.
Well, no big surprise there, folks. Masato Kawabata moves on to the top 8. And we have got a whopping 3 Japanese racers moving into the top 8 after the best 16 round.
And up, here you go.
Here we go. First up, we got Georgi Chivchan, Gocha versus Arkady.
Wow.
Arkasha versus Gocha, the 2 Russian greats facing off against each other in the top 8 of all things.
And our next battle, Japan versus Japan. Hideyuki Fujino versus Naoto Suenaga. So we're going to have a Russia, Japan, and then a Russia, Japan.
Versus Charles Ng from Hong Kong. And Yves Meyer, the Wunderkind from Switzerland, versus Masato Kawabata, the Japanese Drift King.
All right, so interesting battles about to come up in the best 8.
Definitely. One thing...
Fortunately, at least one of our strongest competitors today is going to get knocked out in the next battle.
Okay, so without much further ado, we're at the quarterfinals, the best 8. We got Georgi Chivchan Gocha versus Arkasha, both of them from Russia, the big Russian showdown.
And we are running without warm-ups or test laps. We are just directly in the battle.
Going right into it.
So we're straight into it. These guys, they know each other's driving style. Ooh. Neither one of them wants to lose against the other guy. Gocha's entry, amazing. Leaving Arkady behind, but Arkady, look at this. Arkady surging forward up into the door of Gocha. It's side by side here at Odaiba. Russia versus Russia. Flames spitting everywhere. Limiter. We're starting to see some smoke. The track is starting to dry out. Over the finish line.
Beautiful.
Big round of applause from the spectators here at Odaiba. Look at this entry from Gocha.
Like, if you have like friends drifting together in competition like this, it's like, okay, it's you or me, so we will just show our best drifting, and that's what they were doing.
And Alexei, you're right, the rain has indeed stopped again, so the ground might be drying up a little bit with all those cars screeching across it.
Yeah, well, we just saw a little bit of smoke coming off the skyline in the rear position.
The skyline is putting so much power.
Well,
on
that's
the
probably
ground,
why.
like,
Yeah, he's got a lot more power than the lead car Gocha. Right about here, we're starting to see smoke.
That will be like easily more than 100 kilometers per hour wheel spin.
Yeah, there we go. See, there's smoke there. Really would have liked to see this battle being run in the dry. Yeah, and like you said, David, these guys driving together, they're friends and extreme rivals at the same time.
And here we go, run number 2.
The second battle now, though. So this time, the Skyline will be in the lead position.
And we will see if he can pull that amazing initiation like
Yeah,
Gocha.
can Arkady do the kind of entry? Wow, look at Gocha in the chase. 100% commitment. He's taking the suicide line up the inside. Gocha right next to Arkady's Skyline as he spins flames at the car behind him. Watch the transition here. Now, either of them could make a mistake right about here.
Oh!
Throwing it a bit too hard, Arkady. But Gocha, no worries, he's right there the whole time. An amazing battle. We're getting finals quality battles here in the best 8.
What was it that fell out of...
That you said it completely right. When you said that Gocha is taking suicidal inside line. Like, here it was still okay, but afterwards it was like very, very dangerous to choose that inside line. Like, he chose it and he did mistake because of that.
And now that it's getting darker, boy, you can see the sparks flying out of the car as it zips by.
Yeah. We're starting to see, exhaust flames. There's some of these guys running anti-lag systems, keeping the turbos spinning as fast as possible for high response. Throwing it really hard there, though. That same spot that caught at least 3 other cars today. Gocha not even worried about it at all. He's there the whole time. But that entry from Gocha, wow.
Massive.
That was really good fun to watch. So there we go. Left of the screen, Arcady. Right of the screen, Gocha.
They're going to be interviewing both racers.
Both nervous as hell. But this should be like, on Evan like this, you are just nervous because there's a lot of things going on.
Well, it's a worldwide stage. I know that basically 3/4 of the chat on YouTube is in Russian. So we know that a lot of Russians are watching us.
Completely agree with Gocha. He was just saying that he loves dry conditions, way
yeah,
more than
I can imagine.
wet. I couldn't agree more.
Unfortunately, we really can't do anything about the weather. And here we go. Who takes home the semifinal? Or the best
1 for
eight?
Gocha. 2.
Oh, and Gocha defeats Arkasha to move on to the semifinals. And last year's finalist, Arkasha, gets wiped out in the quarterfinals.
It's a shame to see him get knocked out that early, but it was one or the other. And this is drifting. There's no room for friendships here. So unfortunately, we won't be seeing any more of Arcady's.
But we will see more of that initiation.
We will, but on the other hand, on the upside, like you said, David, we're going to see more of Gocha.
Yeah.
And
Versus Japan, Hideyuki Fujino versus Naoto Suenaga.
here goes the next battle. Suenaga on the left of screen. Fujino on the right. Now to Suenaga. Very skilled with the tandem battles, but Fujino, a very high IQ driver, always knows what to do. Look at this, tandem runs. This is what we wanted to see. We just saw this before with the Russians. Now we're seeing it with the Japanese drivers. Watch this, Suenaga is going to dive in here, put it on the door of Fujino. He's going to back off slightly, switch it back, and then dive in one more time, just like that. There you go. Oh, a bit of a straight there, though, and it's really unfortunate for Suenaga. A slight straighten, though, but the rest of the run, amazing chase run from Suenaga in the orange S15 Silvia from Team Orange.
Completely agree that chase run by Suenaga till the point where he did that mistake was amazing. He was just glued to Fujino, glued to him, same angle, slightly more inside, but this is like really nice battle, and that's what we want to see.
And this part of the track is, right after this is the sort of technique that Suenaga is well known for. Watch this, tucks in, but of course they have to switch back. If the lead car switch back right now, he'd hit. He backs off slightly and then surges forward again. This is high-level tandem drift. But unfortunately, right about here, Suenaga starts to straighten up on the low-speed section right there. He's on the inside. He's not going very fast. There's not a whole lot of wheel spin. He can't spin the tires up too fast. If he does, he'll spin out in his slick, half-wet, half-dry conditions.
Because exactly what he took that technique in a place where it's more slippery. So.
Yeah.
Still, it was a very impressive run between two experienced, fantastic drifters from Japan. But we still got one more to go.
Still got one more to go. Sunaga's just over in the hot pit area.
Yeah, here we can have tire pressure change. So he's using it to have slightly different grip for the leader position. Normally you're running with more pressure on the chase if you're faster than your opponent, and then you just decrease the pressure, or you're just adapting the pressure based on the warming up of the tires, because if you warm up the tires, the pressure rises and you're starting to lose the grip.
And here we go, run number 2 between Fujino and Suenaga. Who's going to take this one home?
All right, here we go now. This is where Suenaga is not as strong in the lead position as he is in the chase generally, but Fujino is pretty good at both. He's going for the huge entry. He's seen it and taking out the inside cone there, but leaves Fujino right there. He's even closer to Suenaga than Suenaga was to him. This puts him in a good position. Watch this, right up parallel with Suenaga, almost kissing his door, switches back, dives in again, no mistakes ice cold driving. Oh, and a bit of a spin there. He made a mistake. I called it. I gave him a curse. Virginia making a mistake there too. Is this going to be a one more time?
Right at the very end, there was a bit of a slip-up.
This live stream is really cursed. Like, we just
Sorry.
cannot say that someone will be better because
It's the
Marco just lost it like that.
Right.
And now it looks that it goes to Virginia. So
I might stop calling.
You need to be careful.
Well, it's the Murray Walker kiss of death. Remember Murray Walker, the old Formula One commentator?
Suenaga. Oh, and it's a clean sweep for Suenaga, who advances to the semifinals. Hideyuki Fujino put on a great run, but he is out at the quarterfinals.
So now to Suenaga. Advancing through to the semi-final, he'll be going up against Gocha. That's interesting.
Now we got Chanatpam Kurtpiam versus Charles Ng, Thailand versus Hong Kong.
All right, next battle now. Thailand versus Hong Kong. We've got Charles Ng left of screen. Chanatpam Kurtpiam now on the left of screen. Here comes the entry. We have the lights on. It's officially, as you said, evening here at Odaiba. Running very wide. Kurtpiam, nice line from him. He's doing really well today. His battles so far have been very enjoyable to watch. But Charles Ng, he's not letting him get away. Transitioning back. Charles Ng right there with him.
Oh.
Right there, that could have been a bit sketchy there. Great battle, this one, between Kurtpiam and Charles Ng. And over the finish line, getting a round of applause.
Yeah, this is
Beautiful.
the thing, like, from 15th driver from qualification, you would expect, okay, he's 15, so it will be easy. And he's, like, showing us that's completely not truth. Like, even 15th driver is very dangerous to drive with.
That's right.
He can, like, pull it, like, really hard. And those Achilles tires are working for him in those conditions.
It seems this car really does seem to suit the wet conditions.
Kurtpiam started off very weak, but he's just been getting stronger and stronger as the day goes by.
Yeah, it's really obvious to notice how much he's been improving over the weekend. It's the last part of the course, that switching their angle at the same time. Nice chase run.
He just improved at the last minute. You know, it was like, okay, now or never, and he just improved and pulled it.
Well, I guess that works for some people. Have, you know, if you put the pressure on them, that
They start to work.
They start to work. Some don't. Looks like Kurtpiam is able to do that.
And here we go, the second run.
Nothing is decided, and it will be decided very soon.
Nothing is decided in that first battle. It's about to be. Second run now, this time Charles Ng. Watch this entry from Charles. He's going to go very hard on this. Whoa, actually a bit of a wobble in the entry there. That's not what he wanted. Good angle though through the long sweeper, but Kurtpiam right there on the door of Charles Ng. Here they come into the bottom part of the course. The hairpin, Kurtpiam's going to ride up. Bit of a tag there. He tapped the rear door, the rear wheel, rather, of Charles Ng. Charles, unfazed by that, continues driving. It was only a little tap. And over the finish line. So
Kurtpiam doing a great job of keeping up with Charles Ng.
he did, but a little bit too close it
A
looked
little
like
too
at one
close.
point.
There was a bit of a tap, wasn't there?
It was definitely too close at one point, but he did not like change the line of Charles.
Yeah, that
so
won't-
it should be okay. You know, like we spoke about it before, slide tapping, it's okay. It doesn't matter if it is wall or your opponent. You just clap on that, but you just cannot crash. And that was like slide tap
Right here.
and didn't change like really the line of the leader. So that should be okay. So, but we need to question if that angle was enough because he
Right.
was like running with way smaller angle.
Yeah.
But what we saw also from Charles was not great initiation.
Yeah, it wasn't
so
a very
that
good
was
one
like
at all.
few mistakes from both drivers. So now we just need to wait for the
And here we
results.
go.
So Kurtpiam in the Lexus.
It is not a surprise. It's a clean sweep for Chanatpam Kurtpiam, who advances to the semifinals. This guy has really been impressing everybody here today.
Yeah, he's risen to the opportunity he has. The tyre warm-up area. They have a small area to do some donuts, understeer circles, etc., to get some temperature into either the front or the rear tires. Now I get the feeling that, yes, he's not going to really want to put too much temperature into the rear tires. Strategy does play a part here.
But if
Yeah, I would say that right now the reason he didn't really do much in the way of burnouts there was he doesn't want too much rear grip. In these conditions, you don't want to have too much rear grip. You want more in the front. So warming up the rear tires too much would be a disadvantage, especially in a big, heavy car like the GTR.
And here we go. Yves Meyer from Switzerland versus Masato Kawabata from Japan. Let's do it.
But you really cannot underestimate also that AGK power machine, because the Eurofighter can be serious.
That's right. We've already seen some good runs from Yves so far. Will he rise to the opportunity right now? In the lead position, Yves Meyer, not a very fast entry. Kawabata right there with him. Kawabata quite wobbly. What's that, a bit of a straighten there? Kawabata with car trouble. Kawabata pulling off the track. Is that some sort of transmission trouble for the GTR? Yves Meyer completing his run. We saw it as they came around the long right-hand sweeper in front of the crowd. The GTR wobbling. It looked like he wasn't putting the power down, then all of a sudden pulled off the track.
He already had the technical issues yesterday in D1 GP, also for Fight 1 battle because of technical issues.
Right.
So maybe the technical issues are not repaired enough for today, and we have evening full of surprises.
Indeed.
So let's watch the chase car here. So the GTR, the rear end kicks out, straightens up a bit, kicks it out again, starts to straighten up, straightens up completely, complete loss of power, puff of flame out of the back, some sort of engine trouble perhaps, and pulls off. The car was able to complete driving around the course, so it probably wasn't some sort of transmission issue.
Yeah, he is disappointed.
So engine trouble for Kawabata.
Oh, yep, he's now apologizing to everybody.
There you go. Apologizing to the crowd for not putting on a good show.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people are disappointed. They were really hoping for great things from him. It's an unfortunate way to lose a match.
Even we've been like hoping for nice battles from him, and this is really what we don't want to see, like drivers ending up because technical issues or crashes or things like this. This is really not the way.
I'm sure this is not how Yves Meyer wanted to win. Alexei, like you said, right? They want to make sure they can win straight.
But you know what? He's going to take it.
Oh yeah, he'll take. Oh,
he'll
yeah,
take
he'll
it.
take it. I don't think he'll be.
Decent entry there from Yves. Not the best we've seen so far. But good enough. It would have been good enough. It was slow, but it was smooth.
We need to send him to Japan for some time.
He needs to learn.
That he will learn that flying initiation.
The flying initiation, yeah.
And then he would be like great.
There you go. What he needs to do. What Yves needs to do is win his next battle with Tokio, and then go up against Suenaga if Gocha loses, and then he'll lose to Suenaga, and he'll be forced to learn how to do the flying entry because Suenaga will do it to him. He'll get so angry.
Oh, yeah.
So you know how it works. You know?
Even Gocha is like doing great.
Even Gocha, but actually, yeah. Come to think of it, Suenaga and Gocha have a very similar style.
So now Yves Meyer were showing us that his technique is working, that he's capable of battling, so he can go through.
And there you have it, folks. Yves Meyer of Switzerland moves.
So next run now. Gocha.
Yep. Gocha versus Suenaga.
He's laying there because he had a motorcycle accident. He's the FIA guy.
The FIA guy?
And of course, the surprise win by Chonatpom Kurt PM from Thailand, who will now be battling Yves Meyer from Switzerland in the semifinals. So we have got 4 countries representing 4 racers in the semifinals.
And speaking of that, speaking of Yves Meyer, I'd like to give a special shout out to Stu Murray, who's currently in the University Hospital in Geneva, watching us live.
Oh.
Unfortunately, he had a bit of an accident. He's one of the FIA guys in Switzerland. So good to have him watching us.
Thank you so much for watching, sir. We appreciate it. What's up now? I did see a lot of Russians walking around here, and I was wondering why they were so quiet today. Well, not anymore.
Not anymore. Gocha is in the semi-final with Suenaga. This is going to be a battle. Both these guys, fairly similar cars, similar setup, and I've got to say, similar driving styles too. You've said that before. Suenaga's definitely on his game. Gocha also 100% on his game today.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens, what do they say, when a unstoppable force meets an immovable object?
Yeah, what happens?
I don't know. I think we're about to find out.
All right.
Gocha versus Suenaga. No cheering for Suenaga?
Yeah, no cheering. That's what the Japanese commentator versus Mozambique. Now it's I never heard of Switzerland versus Thailand.
Here we go.
All right, so the first semifinal match we have got Georgi Chivchan, a.k.a. Gocha from Russia versus Naoto Suenaga from Japan. Russia versus Japan. Here we go.
All right, next battle now. We're down to the semi-final. Sylvia versus Sylvia, Japan versus Russia. 2JZ versus SR20. Gocha in the lead position. The chase. Look at this entry.
Beautiful.
Beautiful entry. Both cars parallel. Really good battle so far. Gocha, the absolute speed of this S15. Suenaga tucking in, he's doing what he did before. Once again, switching back. A little bit of a wobble there from Gocha in the lead position on the transition. Look at this chase from Suenaga. He's still there with him and over the finish line.
Oh, that was an incredible run.
What I hope after this battle, that it will be definitely one more time. Because I want to see that more. Like, this is like amazing drifting. Like,
this is what drifting's all about.
Drifting is really what we want to see, what we love to see. Those drivers are crazy. They're trying to be as close as possible. Initiation, crazy from both. Nice transitions. I love that.
Look at this nice, just smooth driving from both of them. Suenaga matching the angle of the lead car. Switchback keeper. Watch the lead car. Watch Gocha right about here. Surges forward. Right there, bit of a wobble there. Not too bad. I'm really picky. I'm trying to be picky here because both these drivers driving very well.
Yeah, both these drivers through this section like chosen slightly different line, where Gocha is like running inside and then now jumping out, when Suenaga was like driving all the way through the middle to make it slightly more safer.
Yeah.
But this is like, again, like fights between the European American style against the Japanese, where the Japanese are not used to like push the car through the clapping point and the zone, where the Russians are used to that. So this is like different styles, but
oh, and the Gocha fans are going hog wild.
Russia.
Yeah, I don't know why they waited till now, but wow.
They woke up. Like maybe they had like hard yesterday evening.
They went out last night.
Saving their energy for the
Russians. So maybe
the Russians, of course, they went out.
I think
makes sense.
Now that one Russian is advanced to the semifinals, it's all about him now.
So back up to the start line. This time, Suenaga will be in the lead position. Gocha in the chase. I'm predicting violence from Gocha.
And here we go.
There will be violence in the chase position. I'm predicting the suicide line up the inside, a deep dive up the inside of the first corner. Here we go. Lead driver Suenaga, Japan. Chase Gocha from Russia. Suenaga getting run into from the rear.
We definitely will need to see that again because
we
that
need
was
to
some
see that
mistake
again.
there.
This run is still going. It's still running. Both of the cars are still going. The switchback. Gocha right there with him, a little bit lacking in angle compared to Suenaga.
Like, Gocha's car is falling apart of those hits.
He doesn't care. He's still going at 100% throttle. There you go. What did I say about violence? Let's watch the entry here. So Suenaga flicking it in. So Suenaga actually taking a very similar line to what he's always been doing all day.
Yeah,
nothing too odd there.
Changed it.
I'm not sure what Gocha was going for there with that entry. He went very wide out towards the wall.
But what you can see there was like falling parts from the front bumper of Gocha before that hit. So maybe they touched together.
Yeah.
And if it is true, then it will not be good for Gocha.
That's right.
And definitely it's way better visible from the judges' tower because they just had it like in front of their eyes. So we need to just believe them to decide in that case.
That's right. So that entry there, interesting entry there from both these drivers. Suenaga going for that fairly simple straight line entry like he's been doing all day. Gocha, I don't know, I think he was trying to sort of go far wide to the left and then cut across to the right to try and dive in.
Maybe there will be enough mistakes to make it one more time.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be good.
I mean, all they're going to do is put some tape on the front of Gocha's car, send it back out. I'm sure the damage caused by that collision hasn't really affected.
Or aggressive.
Oh, you're getting me excited.
Well, one thing's for sure, this is
again.
not disappointing anybody.
Yeah, but I'm a little bit afraid that will be decision. Because you can see really like this front bumper is falling apart, throwing the parts before that hit. So yeah, that was definitely contact there. But
So
and there is actually a deceleration zone, so the lead car is able to slow down there. But the question is if the slowing down was in lines of what he can do there.
Right.
But this is basically on those three judges who are standing on the judging tower there. I'll just say one more time who is the judge this time.
Yep.
It's Ryan Lantaine from Canada, who's judging normally Formula Drift. It's Dmitry Dobrovolsky, who's judging RDS, Russian Drift Series. And it's Kamimoto-san, who is judging D1.
Kamimoto, yeah, sorry.
D1 GP Japan.
Yeah, so one Canadian judge who judges generally in America, but he's also been heading all around the world recently, places like...
Languages.
There are a lot of them.
Yeah. Wait, does Czech count as a Slavic language? No.
Yes.
It is? Oh, okay, it is. Okay, I didn't know that.
There are a lot of Slavic languages when you think about it.
Well, I was just, like I was telling you before, I was just in Poland the other week, and I couldn't understand a single... I mean, I was trying to understand what they were saying. I couldn't understand a single word, just that they speak so fast.
So it will be for you completely similar with Czech.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Well, I mean, most of them could speak English anyway, so yeah.
And if you have 100 drivers, you need to
do any with that angle, straighten up before or lose their drift as they go around the long sweeping corner.
And this is the question of weight of finals.
Right.
So this is like very hard to answer that question, and you need to be more than 100% sure to answer that.
Oh, okay, we got the results. Let's see.
So one judge, what?
Oh, C goes to gocha.
So two judges in favor of a one more time, one judge in favor of
gocha. Oh, so what's going to happen?
So what the rules for this competition, how does that work? Does it work for the majority giving a one more time?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
Like that was like big discussion about if it is minority or majority.
Oh, okay.
Decide in this case.
I thought that's why you were here.
I know, but I'm not sure. Like, I'm to be honest, I think that even the judges are not sure how it is now. So now they need to decide.
Maybe that's why they're talking about it right now. Yeah, how they're going to do this. So we have two judges in favor of running it again.
That's why we saw this screen so long, because now they need to decide.
They need to decide what they're going to do.
Majority or minority.
Decide to do it.
And what the Drift King says happens.
Well, he was a judge for a very long time for the domestic D1 Grand Prix series.
But he's like more like emperor.
The Drift Emperor now.
The Drift Emperor.
He sits upon his throne and calls, make them do it one more time.
I don't know. I always get the
bit of contact there in the rear end of
this is the
Suenaga's
contact,
car.
what I was
That's a quick
speaking
repair
about,
there.
like, also in contact, like, but the best friend of drifters are duct tapes and zip ties.
Zip ties, yep. That's it.
an international exchange, don't you think?
Yeah.
With today's, yesterday and today.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of foreign students over there. And you. And you're staying there as well, right opposite the facility. Here at Odaiba.
Okay, looks like we're ready to go. Gocha versus now to Suenaga, the one more time match. Let's see who takes this one home.
All right, here we go. We're going to send them there one more time. We wanted to see this one more time. Gocha versus Suenaga. This time Gocha in the lead position.
Ooh.
A hard flick, very violent entry from Gocha. But Suenaga right there with him the entire time. Look at this parallel S15. Yellow,
Splash
orange.
of water.
Spraying water everywhere. Gocha's wipers going at full speed. Watch the switch back here. A little bit of a hard throw there. Oh, a mistake there from the chase Suenaga. He straightens up a bit, cuts the course. That could be a fatal error for Suenaga in the chase. See, Suenaga is usually generally stronger in the chase position.
Actually, I don't know what gocha did with his rear tires, but he rised up the grip. The car is so much faster than it was. Like, Suenaga is doing his best to keep up. He's like very close here and also slightly later, but gocha is so fast. The car has so much grip that it moves incredibly.
You're right. He seems to have done something, sprinkled some sort of fairy dust over it to make it faster. Watch the switch back here. And watch the chase car, Suenaga.
Oh, and looks like it's getting a bit windy and it's blowing a whole bunch of water off the tent right next to us.
This is like huge mistake by Suenaga.
Yeah, that is a big mistake. That could be
We want to see it like to be decided by very close battle, not mistakes, but those mistakes suck.
Well, we still have one more to go. Unfortunately, yeah, I guess that's one of the things about these half-wet conditions is causes a lot more mistakes. So adjusting the day. Ukes also made a D1 Grand Prix drifting video game. It was on PlayStation 2. It was actually available worldwide. It had the voice of today's commentator, Arido, also the Drift King, and another commentator who's also here today,
All right.
Manapi.
Here we go, run two.
It's the second run now.
Oh, they changed the music.
So there was a mistake by Suenaga in the chase on the very end of the course in his chase position. So just resetting. Looks like Gocha may have jumped the start.
Yep.
They do have a drag style light which extinguishes to signal them to go.
Yeah, but still, it's not completely like drag race start to the initiation because the leader have slightly longer distance to go to the initiation.
And
so
here
it's
we
way
go.
easier for the chaser to keep up.
That's right. So lead car now. This time Suenaga entering this time. There we go. Nice entry. Gocha tucking in. That's what Gocha wanted to do in his first run. Now all Gocha needs to do is just keep this clean. Clean the entire run, and he'll have this. Suenaga, a bit of a wobble there too. A couple of mistakes from Suenaga. Gocha, clean run from Gocha, parallel with Suenaga. No problem for the chase car, flicking it back.
What a beautiful run by these two racers.
This is what Gocha wanted to do on the first run.
Great run from Gocha.
Great run from Gocha.
Great run.
He's keeping it close. I don't know what he did to the car during the pause, but the car is slightly better, more grip, and it's working. Working pretty good.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay, we got the results. That was quick.
That was quick.
All right, let's see.
1, 2,
Gocha, and Gocha advances to the finals. Russia wins this round.
Like it was said before, drifting is one mistake sport, and this time Suenaga did it.
Yeah, Suenaga made that one little mistake on his chase run. Very unfortunate for him. It would have been another one more time if it wasn't for that mistake, I'd have to say.
Indeed, congratulations to Gocha.
And now we have quite surprising battle. Like, if you ask me at the beginning of this race, oh, do you think those two guys will be in semifinals? I'll say, I don't think so. Like, not especially like both of them.
Yeah.
But they're there.
Yep.
They're both surprises, both great drivers.
Speaking of which, here we go. Chanetbom Kurtpiam from Thailand versus Yves Meyer from Switzerland. Semifinal, match 2.
Kurtpiam in the Toyota Altezza. Yves Meyer, the BMW M2. So Yves will be in the lead position on this first run. Sorry, Kurtpiam will be in the lead position in this first run. Nice entry. What did Kurtpiam put in his coffee this morning? But look at this chase run from Yves Meyer. Falling back a little bit. Look at this Kurtpiam running very wide. Yves Meyer taking advantage of that, but Kurtpiam once again rocketing forward. It's back and forth between these two on this battle. Final switchback over the finish line. That was like a double wall run from these two.
What we saw in this battle was that we had really nice initiation by the leader and not that great initiation by the chaser. But then the chaser starting to close up that battle, like trying to get as much close as possible. Both drivers completely on the wall, topping the wall, very, very close. And then again, Yves Meyer is starting to lose slightly when he gets back, and then the separation starts again. Like, I don't know what happened with that Thai driver, but he was not that great.
Not before,
He was nowhere near that good in the beginning.
He rised up the game, he like woke up. He was like sleeping or somebody changed him. I don't know, like, tell me what to do to change that much in a few hours.
This has been the biggest surprise of today by far.
Yeah, and also going by his performance last year at the FIA, it was sort of okay, not great, but this time you're going to have to up that rating a bit. Doing really well, Kurtpiam in the Toyota Altezza.
Now let's see if Kurtpiam will advance to the finals or if it's going to be Yves Meyer.
So this time Yves Meyer in the lead. He really needs to get this entry just right. Right, here we go, entering the course. Nice entry from the lead car, Yves Meyer. Kurtpiam lacking a lot of angle, catching up at a minimal angle from the chase. Oh, colliding with the lead car and spinning out.
Oh, that collision cost him.
The thing is that he just overshot it. You know, he saw there is a gap. He tried to close it down. But sometimes if you're trying to close down the gap, you just pull too much or push too much, and then you're getting too fast in, and then you just overshoot it.
Yep.
Touch your opponent.
I was going to say that's the exact word. Overshoot is what he did. So watch this entry here. Decent for the lead car. Now he starts losing angle here and starts trying to catch up.
Yeah, exactly, as you said. Like, he's trying to close that gap, smaller angle, getting inside, and he forgets that there is a diesel zone.
That's it.
Yves Meyer used that diesel zone, and he did not. That's the reason of the collision.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's
and
unfortunate.
I mean, you know, we were just, speaking of jinxing, we were just talking about how good Kurtpiam had become, and whoops.
Yeah, we just
we really should stop talking about these things.
Who should we start talking? Who don't we like? Who should we start?
Okay, all right. Meyer. Yep, it's a clean sweep. Yves Meyer of Switzerland advances to the finals. Kurtpiam showed so much hustle, but unfortunately, right at the end, he faltered. And we got an interview. That was a Swiss trademark right there, folks. Going to go with the third place match. Naoto Suenaga from Japan versus Chanatpom Kurtpiam from Thailand. Let's see who's going to score third place.
Yeah, so both these guys doing really well today. Chanatpom Kurtpiam unfortunately getting knocked out. But this is a good opportunity for him to go up against Naoto Suenaga. Let's see how he can do against Naoto. Look at this entry from Naoto. He wants this third place, but Kurtpiam right there with him.
Oh, they both want it.
They both want this really hard. Okay, into the bottom hairpin. Kurtpiam, once again, he's got to be careful not to make contact like he did before. Switching back, surging forward. Kurtpiam, very aggressive run. Suenaga, good on the entry, but the rest of the course seems to be playing it fairly safe. But Kurtpiam attacking at every opportunity. Let's watch the replay.
Oh, great run by both drivers.
This is the thing, like, he got, again, amazing initiation, which we really love. But then he just played it slightly safe, like, not exactly in the line where he should be. You know, it was not perfect run. If we look on the chase run, he was not able to copy this amazing initiation, but then he started to work his pace to get closer and closer and closer. He even gets almost too close again, but he managed it way better this time.
Yeah, so a great entry from the lead car, the orange Sylvia of Suenaga. But the chase driver, Kurtpiam, the rest of the course, very aggressive, taking every opportunity to attack Suenaga to make up for any mistakes. Take advantage of Suenaga's fairly conservative drive through the rest of the track. We have one more battle to go, this time Suenaga in the chase position. This is where he's generally stronger than Kurtpiam in this battle.
And unfortunately, it has started to rain once again. It's been touch and go this whole afternoon and evening.
Yeah, so
that means that we will have finals on really falling rain.
Yep.
is that good?
I don't know. Like,
it's
it
dramatic.
Doesn't matter. Like,
it is dramatic. You're right. It would make it think for a very dramatic end to the day.
Okay, here we go. Third place match, run 2.
So this time Suenaga, the right of screen, chase position. Kurtpiam in the Altezza. Here comes the entry. Another very good entry. Kurtpiam surging forward. Very wide out to the edge of the track. Suenaga needs to get more aggressive right now. This is his last chance. Kurtpiam possibly with a bit of an advantage right now. The switch back, there's not a whole lot of time for Suenaga. Once again, a bit of an ugly. Oh, and some smoke coming out from underneath the S15. Some weird driving from there from Suenaga. I wonder what that was. He went across maybe a dry patch on the track.
Oh, you could smell it from
here. I think that he just pushed so much power on the ground at the one place that it just started to smoke. But this is the thing. Like, Suenaga all day was not running exactly where he should, like in case of zones.
Right.
When the Altezza was like completely in the first outside zone, it was like scraping the wall. So definitely better lead run from Altezza for the first part. And if we look on the chase part, like chase position, he was trying to get the close, but was it the same like in the first run? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. So with the three of us, I think it's leaning slightly towards.
We have got the results.
We have a result. There we go. 1,
Kurtpiam,
2,
Kurtpiam,
and 3.
Oh, and third place goes to Thailand. Chanatpom Kurtpiam. So unlike last year, Japan has not been able to score any of the top 3 positions.
There you go. That's interesting. We have third place going to Thailand, as you just said. Chanatpom Kurtpiam in the Altezza, scoring third place.
All right, folks, you heard it. It is the final battle. Gocha versus Yves Meyer, Russia versus Switzerland. Is Russia or Switzerland going to take home the 2018 FIA Intercontinental Drift Cup? And here we go.
The first battle between these two. Gocha, it's been very aggressive all day. But Yves, the black horse of today's competition, performing very well. Huge entry from Gocha. We expect nothing less from this man by this point. But Yves Meyer right there with him. Less than a car's distance between the two of them. Yves Meyer starting to catch up in the hairpin. Yves right there with Gocha. The switchback, Yves Meyer once again surges forward. Gocha very wide, fast line, leaving Yves Meyer behind. Switching back once again and over the finish line. What an amazing final battle.
A very solid first run.
That was like more than solid run. Look on Gocha's initiation, like run after run after run. He's doing completely the same. That amazing initiation. Yves Meyer was like maybe too fast before the initiation, so he needed to slow down and then his initiation was sacrificed by that.
Yeah.
So then he was trying to get again the pace, but he was not able to amount of grip which that S15 on the water have. Yeah. I know that Eurofighter is a very grippy car, but on that water is also based on the tires, based on the work with the throttle, which Gocha is doing like slightly better. Maybe even not slightly better, just better.
Just better. So we have Gocha, the Russian driver in the Japanese car with the 4-cylinder turbo engine, and the Swiss driver with a Lithuanian-built... Latvian. A Latvian-built race car from Germany. We're talking about Intercontinental, we really mean it.
And the drone is up in the air, but looks like the cars are not quite ready to go just yet.
We've got one of Gocha's team members.
Oh, look at that.
It's starting to sound like a soccer match here.
Yeah.
Football match, I should say. With the Russians there.
In a few minutes, we'll be,
we need those cheers, yeah.
For some reason, the Russians have quietened down a bit.
They're going to wait until their boys on the start line.
Oh, never mind. No, I'm hearing it. Gocha, Gocha. They're chanting it.
They are cheering.
Yep.
And this is like funny thing. Like you have S15 SR powered,
Yep.
4 cylinders,
Yep.
against like V8 7 liters,
Yep.
900 natural aspirated horsepower, and SR20 have more power, like more grip, more speed. This is the wet conditions. They can definitely change.
And here we go, the final run.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final run of the 2018 FIA Intercontinental Drifting Cup. Gocha versus Meyer. This time Meyer will lead Gocha in the chase position. Very deep entry from both these guys. Meyer all the way out, Gocha a little bit shallow, but he's still right there with Yves Meyer. He's not going to lose a whole lot of points for that. Into the bottom part of the course. Yves Meyer doing very well. The switch back here. Gocha's going to surge forward once again. There you go. Nice. Wow. Great chase run from Gocha. Switching back once again. Gocha's still right there with him and over the finish line.
What an incredible run by Gocha.
I was expecting like slightly better run from Gocha. It was just underestimating Yves Meyer. Like Yves Meyer just this time threw the initiation pretty nicely, and Gocha was like not following that nicely how we are used to see him follow.
Yeah.
Then he's trying to catch up, but he was using the same line as Yves Meyer was using.
Yeah.
So this is like plus for him. After those transitions, he's trying to still stick on him, but he's using slightly smaller angle, just some changes to the angle. He used the smaller angle to get in, then he opened it up, and he's again lost something, lost the distance, then again smaller angle, and it was not that fluent as we want to really see.
Yeah, it wasn't as, like you said, fluid as Gocha usually is, but still, it was a very aggressive run. He was able to, it looked fairly dominant compared to the Swiss driver
Yeah, in behind.
And
Yeah.
it seems
Chase
like
position.
a lot of our viewers on YouTube are already prematurely saying congratulations, Gocha. But I guess we will never know until the judges release their results.
I guess it's a fairly safe guess at this point, but
I think so.
you
Yeah,
never know.
But you really never know.
Hey guys, we just cannot say something like this, because if we will tell something like this, it will be the opposite
We
way.
don't know. We'd just like to say at this point, we don't know who has won yet. We find out when you find out. He's revving his engine as he drives around the course, coming down to the front of the stage where they will announce the winner.
And there is Gocha waving to his legion of fans. Well, this has certainly been a very unexpected final match, hasn't it?
Russia, Switzerland, and then Thailand.
Thailand. Yeah.
There you go.
Could not have predicted that lineup. I thought for sure it was, I mean, well, the big anticipation on everyone's minds was a showdown between Russia and Japan, and we did indeed get that at the semifinals.
Yeah, we got it just a bit too early.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. They were very exciting, but of course, all that matters is who gets through to the final. Evenly
Definitely.
balanced.
Yeah, that was same cars, different setups. So yeah, that was like really great.
That was probably the match of the day. But taking nothing away from these two guys, they battled their way all the way through, especially Maya, doing a very good job.